Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox On Tap.
Tony, my first reaction is just, fuck yes, let's go.
Sox versus the Twins. That's where it all starts. It all starts taking care of business in-house in the Central Division.
That's right, I'm a meatball.
You got to bring that top button swag, baby.
It is always great to beat the Cubs.
And I'm a homer, so I always say they're gonna.
Dallas Keuchel Lansing got some beards that you should be afraid of.
What everybody said when he gets out there, it's me versus the other guy, and I'm going to beat him. So I just love that mentality. It's cool and fucking tough.
Steve, would you say that Tony is mad online?
I would definitely say that.
The White Sox winner. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox On Tap. I am your boy Buzz. I am joined by my dudes Tony, a.k.a. Tony On Tap, and NWI Steve, and we are here on a Sunday Funday. We're going to talk about this Mariners series. We're going to talk about the Lot B tailgate that was an absolute rager, some Eduardo Escobar shit, some other shit. We're going to talk about all of it. But before we do that, be sure to go on OnTapSportsNet.com for all Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at Sox On Tap, at OnTapSportsNet. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us. 5-star rating and review because that's cool and tough. And check out Grandstand. If you're at the ballpark, go walk over there. Check out Grandstand. Anything you need, White Sox or Chicago sports related, Grandstand is the place to find it. Follow them on socials at Grandstand Sox or go to grandstandsox.com. Boys, we're all live after yesterday. Lot B was an absolute motherfucking rager. Absolutely insane. We showed the people what we do here and threw a badass tailgate with the help of Shane Reardon from 670 The Score, who provided food and cooked for everybody. Our boy Summer of Georgiantown, White Sox Dave, the 108, Sox on 35th. Everybody made it a great event. That's what I wanted to say before I got into the how's you doings. Steve, how you doing?
Hey, yo, Buzzy. To quote Frank Ricard from the early 2000s classic Old School, I had a great fucking time yesterday, and I'm doing great today. Good to be here, boys.
Tone Bone.
Hey, man, I'm glad the Sox were able to get a win so that Sunday Funday was a little bit more fun. But it was a great time out in Lot B yesterday. I think the final count was 100 Jello shots went down in just under an hour and 15 minutes. That's very fucking impressive, I must say. Very impressive stuff. There was good food. Again, thanks to Shane. Buzz, you did an excellent job getting the grill and everything out there and stationed in what is one of the perfect spots in Lot B, which is the front corner. So let's talk about perfect execution as far as tailgate spaces. I know that there is some argument whether or not the back of the grassy knoll or the front of the parking lot is a better place to host your tailgate. I think we've done two that are up in the front now, Buzz, and it just seems to be a really good space for everybody. You can accommodate quite a few people. You catch some people as they're walking towards the ballpark. So you did an excellent job scouting that space out, getting out there earlier. Steve, that might be the drunkest I've ever seen you in person. So let's just go with that. I was like, when I rolled up, I was almost taken aback at the state that Steve was in. I'm surprised he's alive and well today. I'm surprised that Buzz is alive and well. I'm surprised that everybody's alive and well. It was a great time. It was good to be back with all of you. It felt like opening day, and I think that that's kind of the thing that everybody was looking for. So just good times all around.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that front corner is so clutch, too, because the pisser's right there. You know, like you rock right to those porta potties and just make it happen. So like, that's why it's so clutch. And I'll tell you guys something right now. When Steve came walking up, we did a complete stone cold. I wish we had the video where we could add it in on here. I'm sure it's on Twitter where we can eventually do that. And I will do that. I'll work on that. We did a stone cold beer bang. And I mean, that was just absolutely fire. Tony, you came rolling up with your fold out table, which is in my garage, by the way.
I knew it would make it back.
It made it back. You came with the Jello shots. I did a couple of those real quick, got that shit down the hatch. Finished about a 12 or a Miller Lite, had a couple others, just had a great time overall. I just absolutely perfectly executed. One of my favorite parts is, and I would show everybody my chest right now, but this is not on tap after dark yet. I did a mud slide, like it was a slip and slide, and Steve and George were there to catch me on the other end.
I gotta add to that. I mean, I think that was something that I think would have done Mark Burley. really proud. Burles,
You know I love him too.
very, very well known for the tarp slide during his days here with the Sox. And Buzz, you really channeled your inner Mark Burley there. You did us proud. It was a very heartwarming moment for all of us.
I may
to
be
see.
able to get the mudslide here. I'm doing some production work in the background. I may be able to get the mudslide here. Give me a second. Keep talking about it.
Absolutely.
The big moral of the story though was, with the success of yesterday's, outing, we're back. I talked about this, boys. We are so back right now.
This is where the cuffs come off, Steve, is right now. This is where you take us and you put us back into our element. We are fans of the White Sox. We cover the White Sox. But one thing that I always felt that separated On Tap from every other publication out there is that you could find, at the games that they allow, is you find us tailgating. That is just something that we all love to do. Whether I'm at Soldier Field getting it done or I'm at the rake getting it done, you can find us slamming beers in the United Center parking lot. You're not supposed to do that, but we do it. It is what it is. But it's absolutely fantastic. That's when we're in our element, and I'm glad a lot of people got to take in on that yesterday because it was just absolutely fucking insane. Just a total insane time. Tony, did you figure out what you had to do? He's got it. Tony's got it.
I do have the mudslide. This is courtesy of the 108 guys here. So let's see. Can you still hear my audio?
Absolutely can.
Awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and play this little mudslide here.
This is just giving the people what they want.
Yeah. There you go. Blow that screen. There you go. Look at George getting ready. There's Steve's coaching me through right here with his hot ass headband. Look at that. Look at that form. You can't teach that. You can't teach that. Oh my God. What's so funny? The lights are on, but nobody's home. It's just that's what that was. Lights are on, nobody's home. But my God. All right. Well, I think we had a good time. I think
I hope that worked. I hope that worked. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it looked great. It looked absolutely great. But we got to get into some White Sox baseball here. So Friday we went MIA. We did not do the show. Reason being is because I had to be up very early in the morning. We had a quick turnaround with the Saturday's game, and we were throwing the tailgate. But it did not go the White Sox way, and they ended up losing it late. And not good. Not great, Bob. I shouldn't have said not good. Not great, Bob, because the Sox really needed to, get this. They split with Pittsburgh, come in here against Seattle, who's been pretty decent as of late, pretty hot. We lose 9-3 in that first game on Friday, and then we lose 3-2 in the first game of the doubleheader today, and then win the second game of that doubleheader 7-5. Overall play this weekend, boys. What are you thinking? Tone, we'll start with you. We'll move on to Steve.
Overall play this weekend, suboptimal in my opinion. I think even with today's 7-inning ball game win, this team is just leaving me wanting more right now. I'm a little disappointed. The offense has just completely fallen off again outside of what we saw today, which was really driven by Zach Collins and Yerman Mercedes, guys that have not been ultra consistent. And Steve, you can fight me on this. I side with Johnny Nani that
we're gonna have words.
The Zach Collins stuff just absolutely annoys the shit out of me. I understand the splits here. It can be played to his advantage, and whether or not Tony La Russa is utilizing Zach Collins in the right way, that is completely up for debate, and that is fair discussion. But overall, the bullpen, the offense, there's just too many holes on this team right now. The magic, the it factor that I felt like they had through most of this year so far is dwindling in a sense. I felt like yesterday's rain was just a metaphor for what we've been seeing over and over again over this past little stretch of baseball. It almost feels like, why can we not have nice things right now? Just the fact that there were no fireworks really this weekend just really pisses me off, especially coming back to full capacity. I know those are all superficial things, but the general sense that I have around this team right now, it feels like they're laboring through everything, and it should not feel that way. The injuries are totally part to blame here, but man, it's just, they're struggling right now.
Steve?
I'll echo a lot of Tony's sentiments there. This team is really limping right now as we're 2 weeks away from the All-Star break at the moment. Um, these things can certainly happen. You know, there was a team in 2016 that won something that was like 5-15 going into the All-Star break. So it does happen. The injuries obviously are really catching up to them, and you know, yeah, you compound that with what we saw with Jose Abreu today, getting drilled in the kneecap with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. So now we got to worry about this situation here. Does even the threat of Jose Abreu being in this lineup now, is he taken out of this equation here, thinning things out even more? So obviously we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that, but just bats just continuing to struggle, seeing inconsistency out of the bullpen. A lot of the problems that we've seen for the last 2 weeks or so here, and I talked about this last weekend with Johnny. To quote the great Hawk Harrelson, and Steven Stone even said this on the broadcast today, sometimes it's not who you play, it's when you play them. You got Houston a week ago when they were in the middle of their 11-game winning streak. The Mariners coming into this weekend had won, I think, 7 out of 10 or 7 out of 9. And now they open up a 4-game series against the Minnesota Twins starting on Monday here, who, as you all may know, I fucking hate more than anything on this planet. They've won 7 out of 9. So something's got to click here. They got to find some way, and hopefully guys like Yermin Mercedes, guys like Zach Collins stepping up and picking up the slack here for some of the veteran guys in the lineup that aren't producing to this point can happen here in these remaining 2 weeks leading up to the All-Star break until they hopefully get some kind of reinforcements.
Reinforcements need to happen. That's where I'm at. The offense, it was like right before the second game of the doubleheader, the Sox have scored 20 runs in 8 games. It can't happen. You're having slumps from Jose Abreu, who's having just a terrible June. Tim Anderson having any trouble trying to find consistency this month. I mean, it just feels like he'll have a good game and then it'll go away the next. You know, Yoan Moncada, we've watched his average dip this month. If I'm not mistaken, he entered June at about 300. I want to say that. And over the last 10 games, Moncada's batting 235. He's got an OBP of 381, but he's batting 235 over his last 10 games. He's got 8 hits and 34 at bats. We have him in the 3-hole a lot of the time. We need him to be, hitting that ball, driving in runs over these last 10 games. He's driven in 3. So it's just something that needs to improve a little bit. And obviously, I'm not gonna harp on just Moncada here. It's an all around thing, like you said, Steve. We need these other guys to step up when the other guys are slumping. But to Tony's point, the magic dwindling away is because when a guy like a Billy Hamilton, when he's up, when Luis Robert first gets hurt, right, and he's like producing a little bit, and you're like, oh shit, this is great. But then when Billy Hamilton goes down, now you need Goodwin to produce, or you need Luis Gonzalez to produce. Now you're kind of, you're trying to deposit magic that you don't have, and you're going to bounce that check. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. The pitching can only get you so far without, these guys are going deep into ball games. Most of the starters are going deep into ball games. It can't happen all year like that. The offense needs to improve, start putting runs on the board to protect these guys. Because if they don't, well, you've seen what happened in the last 10 games for the White Sox. It hasn't been pretty.
Yeah, and let's just talk about long-term state here and where this team is at and what's coming up in the future here too, guys. This is an opportunity for the White Sox to make a deep playoff run. Are both of you on the same terms as I am with that? Like this team so far, they're in a good position to win this division.
Oh, yeah.
and compete for potentially making it to the World Series. And, once you're there, anything can happen. You're looking at a potential strike next year. You've got some contracts that are going to be expiring here within 1 or 2 years. Let's start to be real here. This is an opportunity for this team right now to take a step forward and do something. They need an injection into this lineup of something at this point in time. And spare me that Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez are going to be coming back in August, September. This right now is where it hurts because any prolonged absence from Jose Abreu out of that lineup, and we just start to rack up guys that are potential automatic outs over and over again. And yeah, Zach Collins can be useful. We saw him today, but are you really going to want to rely on his bat in the lineup every single night? No, you're not going to. Jake Lamb, very situational guy. Goodwin, another situational guy, Lurie Garcia. These are supposed to be the bench guys that come in and provide you magic once or twice a week and be the beneficiary of small sample size. You're not going to get that when you're playing these guys 7 days a week and trying to shuffle the lineup around as much as you are. I mean, look at the stress that's been on Andrew Vaughn so far, having to move back and forth between learning left field, being a consistent bat in this lineup. Now he might have to shift to first base for a few days. He's all over the place. And, you're starting to put a lot of stress on young guys, on guys who are backup players. You need something. Right now is the time to go out and make a deal. I just don't know, what that deal is. Is it Escobar? I don't know, but that seems like it's not even enough right now to get this team over the hump. And yes, every team out there is dealing with injuries, but we need something. We need a break. We need to have fireworks on the south side. We need somebody who can hit home runs, and we need another bat in this lineup that can do that.
Counselor, I have an idea here. I believe his name is pronounced Starling Marte.
Oh, I think I saw an article about that somewhere.
I think someone may have written something.
I can tell you where to find it. You can find it on OnTapSportsNet.com.
There you go.
Some goofy ass guy who wears a headband wrote some article
so
about
good,
it.
I don't know.
Have you taken that off since yesterday? Did you sleep in it?
I gave it a wash this morning here. It was pretty soaked in beer. It got pretty aggressive. But look, I talked about this with you, Buzz, and with Johnny. I'm a headband guy now. There's no turning back. This is just where we're at, in my career life cycle at this point. But look, in all seriousness, Tony, you're right. There does need to be some sort of an injection here of talent to this roster. The reliance on some of these, role players. You just get to a point where you have a diminishing level of return. And unfortunately, they have been relied upon so much to this juncture because of all the injuries that have taken place that you need to augment now, and you need to bring in guys that you can count on an everyday basis. All the Eduardo Escobar rumors and everything, those are nice. And I think Escobar is more of a complementary piece than a primary piece to begin with. He would be fine, but that's where you got to find a way to pull something off like a Starling Marte or some other everyday bat that you can put in the outfield that can hit the fucking ball out of the ballpark and actually allow this team to set off some fireworks.
Make it sexy.
That's the thing, though.
It's
going to be hard to make it sexy, dude, because we don't have a lot of fucking prospect capital to work with. That's a problem right now. Because all of our top prospects are the ones that were contributing on this team, and they're all fucking hurt besides Vaughn, and Crochet technically. And he, I know that he's had a couple rough outings in his last 3. They haven't been so hot, but he did start off the year pretty decent, But that's the problem here where you say you don't know if Escobar is a guy that could be that dude that puts us over. He's got a 111 WRC plus or some shit like that. Which is good, above average.
You have to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere, and that's exactly it, Tony. You have to start somewhere because I realistically don't know if they could do more than that. How much do these teams value a guy like Jared Kelly or Matthew Thompson or something like that, or a guy? And then you have people floating out, even a guy like Jake Berger right now, either him coming to the majors or him swinging his hot bat in the minors. Can that catch somebody's attention? I don't know, but Steve's idea is the one that I would like the most out of everything, is a guy like Starling Marte. I still think you can go get a second baseman who's better than Danny Mendick. I like Danny Mendick. Danny Mendick's not an everyday player. Danny Mendick is the infield version, we'll say old school infield version of Adam Engel. Okay. Danny can get it done in the field, but he can't play every day. He cannot bat every day. That's what Adam Engel was. I know he was hitting bombs and shit when he came back, but even Adam Engel's still on my mind. He's a fourth outfielder on a good competing team. You need to find somebody with Madrigal being gone for the year after his surgery. You need to find somebody there, and you need to find an outfielder. That's what you need to do. I can get by with the bullpen. I know they've struggled as of late. I can get by with that and starting pitching. I don't need to fuck with that. We need an outfielder. We need a second baseman. Fortify those positions if you can and make your push. And then when, like you said, you didn't want to have to rely on Luis Robert or Eloy Jimenez coming back. It'll just be even better when they do.
It's not about not wanting to rely on them to come back. I think outfield is actually somewhere where I would kind of hold back on, and I would prioritize maybe bullpen ahead of the outfield, knowing how many guys you have that can come back here. Between Billy Hamilton, maybe he comes back and contributes. Adam Engel, Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, I'm assuming we're going to get them back. What I'm saying is right now through this stretch, you need another bat in this lineup that can contribute at Eduardo Escobar or better levels. You need to go out and get something done last night in order to sustain this because, you're not off until July 8th right now. There's no off dates. You sustain another injury to somebody. How many hits can you take before the front office has to react and go out and get somebody? And I think what my biggest fear right now as a White Sox fan is we're going to be sitting here in the second week of October, and we could piss this away to Cleveland or somebody. And the reason behind it at the end of the year press conference is going to be, well, the team just wasn't able to sustain the success with the amount of injuries we've taken on. And we're heading into this offseason. We go into next year and we potentially lose a year due to labor strife with the Players Association and the MLB. And you've then pissed away a chance at putting this thing over the top. You can't guarantee tomorrow. And I know you've got a plan for the future and building a team to, compete the next few years here. That's Rick Hahn's job. But right now, where they've put themselves, they're in first place. They're in first place. And you can quickly watch that fall apart if there's one more hit. And I feel like that hit is potentially Jose Abreu's knee for a bad week when the team is already down and already struggling to put up runs, albeit guys got the job done in the second game today. It's just, it's scary hours right now for me.
Let me throw out a name here as another option that I don't think we've talked about. Obviously, the Escobar thing is kind of front and center with Boob Nightingale's reporting earlier this morning, which really kind of makes me wonder, do we have another Jerry Reinsdorf puff piece coming out here in the coming days in exchange for him getting this scoop here? But the guy I'm thinking about here as maybe an alternative, and especially if Jose Abreu has to miss any kind of significant time, what about Jonathan Scope from the Detroit Tigers? A guy that has played second base primarily. He's seen a little bit of action at first base. He's hitting the ball out of the ballpark again this year. He's giving you some slug. He's been a quality player for a number of years. He was a big part of that Baltimore Orioles team that went to the playoffs multiple times last decade. So this is a guy that I think could definitely be had. He's on a one-year deal. The Detroit Tigers obviously are not going anywhere. They're not going to be a competitive team till 2023, 2024 at the earliest. So interdivision trades with these two teams don't necessarily happen a lot. But I think that might be another avenue that this team may need to explore.
Do you want to deal with Detroit, though? I think you laid it out there fairly well, but what are you going to give Detroit for that? I think that's the next question here, Steve, is what you have to evaluate is, 23-24, that's still in the White Sox proposed contention window. I feel like that kind of prohibits the White Sox and Rick Hahn, especially from wanting to make that move. And I'm still working underneath the assumption and have been since this rebuild started that Rick Hahn may be trigger shy.
You're not necessarily wrong on that. I just think, you can't worry about it potentially coming back to bite you at this point. You go back and you look at the last time that the Sox had a team that was in a position to win a division title back in 2012, the team that killed part of my soul that I have never gotten back to this point almost a decade later. That was the last time the Sox made a trade with the Minnesota Twins when they sent the aforementioned Eduardo Escobar to the Twins for fucking Francisco Liriano.
Tough.
So, yeah, I still want to throw up thinking about that. But
Steve, I'd love to see an article of your favorite trades that the White Sox have made.
Oh God,
or least favorite.
Oh God,
I do like the Scope idea though, Steve, because it's not going to take much to get him. 1-year deal, struggling team, 10 games under 500. He was a filler signee anyway. It really for Detroit, it doesn't really matter. But what he's doing this year is kind of under the radar because Detroit sucks ass so bad, But 271, 323, 475 is a slash line. He's got 15 home runs on the season, Steve. If he was traded for right now, hypothetically today, he is the one traded for from the Chicago White Sox. He will be the team leader, just like Eduardo Escobar would be. He'd be the team leader in home runs this year. The team leader right now for the White Sox is Abreu with 12, and I believe right behind him is now Yasmani Grandal. So those are the team highs for the Sox, 12 home runs. So, I mean, he'd be a guy who adds some pop in that lineup, which is what the Sox need. The Sox need pop. Not a bad idea at all. I like it.
No, I don't mind the idea. I don't mind the idea of it at all. I think that, and we lost Steve. I hope he's okay. We just lose Steve over and over again from Twitter, from the StreamYard buzz.
He leaves us too much.
He leaves us too much. We're working here. It's just like the White Sox, man. We're a man down right now. Hopefully we can get him back. Get Herm Schneider on the phone.
He'll be back.
I think we got him back.
We got him back now.
Look at that. The Sox On Tap training staff is really good at getting players back on the mic quickly.
We just did it quickly, but I was admiring your scope suggestion there, Steve, before you got hit in the knee with a fastball, and it took you out there for a minute. But no, I like that he would bring much needed pop to the squad. Your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously you brought him up. I mean, it wouldn't take much to get him in your mind, correct? Because I don't think it would take much.
I really don't think it would. Like I said, Detroit's a rebuilding team. They're not going anywhere this year. And Scope being on a 1-year deal, I struggle to think it's going to take a lot to get him. Now, I'm having a hard time kind of evaluating what this trade market is going to be this season with teams, prime poor after 2020 with no fans, and then some of the restrictions here through the first half of the season in terms of overall attendance. So it's really hard to get a gauge on what the returns are going to be for guys, particularly for rentals. So to me, it just screams a guy down in Kannapolis or maybe somebody down in Winston-Salem. I just don't see it being anything of particular substance, or even if it's like fucking Gavin Sheets, whatever at this point.
I thought Gavin Sheets would come up. I mean, just more for
he did.
Maybe. I know, but
he never got the opportunity.
I meant for like an at bats. I
felt bad. I felt bad for that one because his family came in, and you thought that this was going to be like the next guy up for the White Sox, Gavin Sheets, and then I thought it was going to be him again, and now we're seeing Gonzalez up here, and at first, I'll be honest, I was like, why Luis? But then after he had that bullet today. Oh yeah, defensively he's good. It looked great. It looked great. I think that was from handing out a game ball, that play right there was fantastic. Huge save. I loved every second of that, and that's why I think the outfield thing that we talked about earlier, Buzz. I think that's why it's less on my radar because they've got a plethora of guys. I feel like Sheets is another guy who can come up and probably play some outfield. You've got so many injuries to that court. I think they were on their 8th or 9th outfielder already.
Well, I think that your opinion on the bullpen is totally validated. I think that you're correct. That's something that you'd like to look at. I'm just looking for more pop in the lineup.
The problem for me with the bullpen right now is that I feel like we've got a bunch of guys who are, 6th, 7th inning guys, not a real stable long reliever, and nobody who's really claimed that 8th inning as a lockdown guy. I mean, Aaron Bummer's shown flashes. I think Michael Kopech, when he's here, has been absolutely excellent as a multi-inning option.
And that's what he is. Yeah.
And that's what he is. I wouldn't want him to just be pinholed into just being that 8th inning guy.
Right.
So I feel like they've got a bunch of dudes who are just fine options, but never like that shutdown guy that you want in front of Liam Hendricks, or somebody who can come in the 9th inning like today, who's not your closer, and potentially give you those 2 innings if you don't have a Michael Kopech to get through that. And I really have no faith in any of these guys to be completely consistent right now, even outside of Liam Hendricks when he's in a save situation. We saw what happened today, and we can debate that one all you want. But I just feel like they need that extra arm right now in the bullpen. That's somebody who's having a good year, and that just could be the fact that like Aaron Bummer, Evan Marshall, it just might not be their year where they're feeling it completely. But if you want to be lethal, you need that guy who feels good this year.
I feel like this would be a lot easier of a conversation if everybody and their mother wasn't fucking hurt on this team.
It absolutely would.
You know, like, and that's why you pose such,
conversation.
and that's why you like pose such a good point. It's like, where do you go? Like, what is the best move to make? And this is like times like this where, you know, we let's be honest here. We've all armchair GM'd before, right?
Yes.
This is a moment in time where I'm like, you know what? I'm glad this isn't my job. Because this is fucking stressful as shit.
It absolutely
Buzz,
is.
counterpoint to that. If it was your job, you'd be rich as fuck.
Okay. Yeah, I still okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I want it again. I'll do it. Yeah.
So my thing is, you know what? If I'm gonna get a high profile, high stress job, fucking pay me that money, baby. Give me that paper.
I'm gonna sell my soul for some cash right now. I'll do it right now.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. If it is your job and you're sitting there and you're Rick Hahn right now, where do you go first? I'll turn it to you, Buzz. Where do you go first, and what are you doing?
Like position wise,
Just
like for
you've
trade?
got this team right now. You're Rick Hahn right now. Who are you calling tonight? What are you doing? Are you standing pat? What are you doing here?
Honest to God, I would look and see. I obviously I already believe that he called Pittsburgh. I've been thinking about Reynolds and Frazier a lot. I've kind of, you know, been in that realm of thought because I get an outfielder that would be in right, and then I can get a second baseman, and it probably just takes so much. It would just take so much, and I don't know if the Sox have the prospect capital for it. I do like after Steve brought up the scope thing, I really am intrigued by that, but I also am still intrigued with the Eduardo Escobar and Starling Marte thing, names that have been kind of floated out there. I know a lot of people have said Ketel Marte. It's just going to take too much with his years of control. Sox not having the process. See, that's the problem here is like you'll watch the Dodgers and they just keep winning and drafting well and signing. And it's just like the Sox bring everybody up. And you got shit. Like it's hard to figure out a good trade in my mind because what are these other teams going to take? But if I could, I'm finding an everyday second baseman. I'm finding a fucking better outfielder. That's what I'm doing because I still have faith when Kopech comes back. I feel like this bullpen can turn it around. I saw the talent last year. I'm not willing to give up on it yet. Because we still have a while, you know, we still have the trade deadline coming up. But I do agree with you, Tony, though. A move doesn't need to be made at that. It needs to be made now. So I would still go position-wise right now and then revisit the bullpen situation closer to the deadline there.
Steve, who are you calling?
I'm calling Derek Jeter. I'm trying to get Starling Marte. I mean, to me, that's the move because I know we can talk about Eloy and we can talk about Luis Robert coming back and everything. But even if they get those guys back, we don't know what we're getting. Ultimately, we don't know that we're getting a fully functional Eloy Jimenez, a fully functional Luis Robert. We know that Starling Marte is beating the ever-loving shit out of the baseball right now. We know that he can cover center field because he's doing it in just a cavernous ballpark down there in Miami. So if Robert comes back, you can easily slot him into right field, and he will cover that no problem. And now you have 2+ defenders in the outfield, allowing you to shift guys over, allowing you to shift those two guys over more to cover more of the ground in that left center field gap, pushing Vaughn or Eloy or whoever is playing left field closer to the line. So that's going to make your outfield defense better in September and October when outs are absolutely at a premium. Plus, again, that bat plays. It plays at 35th and Shields because that's a considerably smaller ballpark than what he's doing down in Miami, and he is driving the baseball with authority. This team, just for whatever the reason this season, and I can't understand it, I can't figure it out, and it's not just the injuries. They just simply are not producing any kind of power whatsoever. It makes no sense to me. Yohan Moncada has a sub 400 slugging percentage right now.
It's absolutely fucking insane to me.
You know, Jose Abreu, before he got drilled today, his slugging percentage was down in the 430s. Yeah. I mean, this is it's getting to a point. It's almost comical right now because this team cannot produce any kind of power whatsoever.
Well, you know what's funny, Steve, is I just want to throw this out there to you. Jordan Miller brought up something earlier about Frank Menachino. And do you remember his statements going back to fuck the home run, hit 300? Do you think that was for everybody, or do you think it was just for those two certain individuals in Andrew Vaughn and Nick Madrigal? Because I mean, Jordan brought this up. It was just in a conversation. It wasn't like
this
because
is a great topic.
Yeah, I think so too. And Jordan, I would love to get Jordan on here to get his thought process on this eventually. But that's what he brought up, and he goes, listen, dude, it works for a guy like Nick Madrigal or a guy who was struggling like Andrew Vaughn, because, Andrew Vaughn is known for his advanced bat and his power. Nick Madrigal is known for contact and advanced bat, expanded strike zone. Is he preaching that to just those two, or is he preaching it to everybody? Was there a switch somewhere, or is it just bad luck? I find it hard to believe these guys that we've watched mash since they've got here aren't mashing.
I don't know. I don't know if you want to go with that one though, because it's, dude.
He clarified already.
It was for the younger players. That's fine, but there's something wrong here when it comes to the way this team is hitting, and I don't know if you want to put that on the hitting coach and Frank Menachino, but
no.
There is an argument there. I think that's wild to think about when you go back and you hear that statement. Man, Jose Abreu, Jordan, the vets are pressing with their injuries.
I was just about to say that. Yep.
They are pressing with their injuries. Before this series even started, we heard from Tony La Russa that, Jose Abreu was going through some stuff. Yohan Moncada, I'm not trying to call him soft, but he looks like he's always hurt no matter what he's doing. He just looks like he had a rough night last night, or just one of those guys that just, I'm not trying to get canceled. He just always does look hurt. I don't know what's up with Tim Anderson right now, but even when he does, give you the occasional pop, like I never really looked at his game as the guy that's up there to hit home runs. I'd rather him getting on base, annoying the shit out of the pitcher. There's on base guys that we need on the team too. But the power outage is really, in a sense, you're missing Eloy Jimenez, you're missing Luis Robert. Yerman Mercedes is a power guy, and I think he started out hot, but is he the guy that you really want carrying everything? And Jordan brings up another point. Menachino had this team fully healthy last year, hitting the most home runs in the AL. I mean, you're trying to find a fall guy at this point, and there's everybody to blame.
Right. Like I said, it was just something that he had brought up earlier. It was like, I didn't know if they were doing that for everybody or not, or what the deal was, because it's just so odd to me to see that. And again, another guy, like you just brought up Tim Anderson, Tone. Guys, listen to this slash line over Timmy's last 10. 214, 233, 262, a 494 OPS. I mean,
not great, Bob.
No, great. That's not.
What was Tim's last home run?
Oh, Tim Anderson's last home run. I want to say, oh God, I actually don't remember. Tim, you keep talking, I'll find that.
I mean, I'm struggling to think of when he hit one.
June 3rd.
Jesus.
Against the Tigers.
I mean, the team only has 19 home runs in June so far, boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking nuts.
Well, right, and look, that's one of the points here that Benetti and Stone talked about yesterday, was the fact that between Moncada, Abreu, and Anderson, they have 3 home runs combined in the month of June. That's not going to fucking work.
No, it's not. But I don't want to sit here and say that this team needs to rely on the long ball, because look, today they're able to manufacture.
Team go far.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because at some point you need to clear the bases. At some point, when there's nobody on, you need to score a run. You have to hit the long ball at some point. And as it's heated up in June, and when we're like used to seeing some of these guys start to get hot, they just haven't hit that gear yet. And it's amazing. We're sitting here in first place and we're talking about all this, and it seems kind of doom and gloomy. But right now, I mean, that's kind of the attitude that I have. Well, based on the fact that that things seem to be sputtering, and we're laboring through this right now.
Well, dude, it's 100% fair that you feel like that, because whether they're in first place or not, Tone, they're 3-7 in their last 10.
I'm sitting in the counselor's chair right now.
They're struggling big time because they are having a hard time finding runs. I can't. Do you have Budweiser?
I do. I'm gonna crack another one.
There you go.
While we're at it.
Did that help? Did that help?
There you go.
Okay.
Solid advice from Dr. Buzz.
I did my job.
Can I go back to the White Sox for a second here?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, look, we sat through what we did for a decade leading up to last season, okay, and the 3 or 4 years of rebuild 2.0 to get to 2020, and when we thought that this window of contention was opening. It is so White Sox for them to be in first place here on June 27th with a 2.5 game lead over the fucking hated Cleveland Indians, and we're sitting here and it feels like things are just collapsing when they're not. And it's just like we're so conditioned to expect something and almost to expect everything to go wrong, that we're just not even able to fully enjoy things right now because they've got a 3-7 stretch right now, and that does happen over the course of the season, but it feels so much worse than it really is.
So are you back preaching patience? Are you trying to take us off of this? Because right now I feel like the window is open. It's a little rainy outside. Like yesterday, it's a little rainy. We're slipping and sliding in the mud.
Yesterday was a tornado. That's what I feel like I'm in right now.
I don't feel like we're in a tornado.
I do.
I don't feel like we're in a tornado. I feel like we need to either like shut the window during the rainstorm and open it back up in a week here and see where we're at, or we can try and make our own luck, as some people like to say, and go out and make a move and try and just go through the storm like we did during the tailgate yesterday and have fun in the mud. So I don't know what the right answer is, but if where we're at right now just doesn't feel great. It's hard to enjoy. I think
why I'm so worried is because, like I said, we're on a little bit of a downward slope right now. Thank God we got the win in the second game of the doubleheader today in 7 innings of ball.
Well, and Cleveland just hasn't helped themselves.
Cleveland has not helped themselves.
You hate to see it.
But we're going up against a team that is 7-3 in their last 10, and a team that usually has our number in the Minnesota Twins in a 4-game set, like Steve mentioned earlier. And I'm absolutely fucking terrified. If the Sox can't find any offense, what's going to happen here? What is going to happen here? And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm worried. I know that Cleveland has Seattle, correct? Is that correct? Seattle's next for Cleveland. I think I'll find it. I can't. No, it's not. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Detroit. They have Detroit. So Cleveland has Detroit. I apologize. Cleveland has Detroit in a 3-game set. That starts tomorrow. So, and the Sox have a red-hot Minnesota Twins team. So that's why I'm a little worried. That's why I feel like maybe I'm not in the tornado, but that I see that fucking funnel cloud. It's right there. And I'm worried.
Before you guys go any further, Gavin Sheets not in the lineup for Charlotte tonight. As a forewarning here, the question that's being posed around is Jose Abreu about to head on an IL stint, or
yes, he is.
Is that official news already?
No, but I think he is. I think that he's going to be. You're going to put Sheets in right, and whoever Luis Gonzalez in left, or whoever over there, and then Vaughn's going to go to first base. That's what you're going to see, because I mean, Abreu,
could Gavin Sheets potentially be on the move? Is the other question here.
Oh, that's also another good point, Tone. I would say that, this sitting out bullshit. See, I just bought in like a little idiot, like I did earlier, like with Escobar fucking sitting today.
This is the only reason why I'm bringing this up, because I wanted to see your train of thought as you got the news live on Sox on Tap.
Yeah, no, now I'm fucking irritated, because remember me and you were talking earlier. We were talking earlier, like, hey, man, Escobar's out of lineup today. I was like, yeah, but he was like the other day, too. And everybody was like, all fucking, and you're like, oh, man, maybe it might be happening. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it's going to happen. And then fucking Steve's best friend, Boob, puts the tweet out last night when I'm all drunk and we're at home and I don't even know what my name is and waiting for something. And me and you were talking like, let's get this shit ready for On Tap, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Nothing.
I'd love to put you on the roller coaster. It is one of my favorite things to do.
I hate it, man. I feel like I got to poo every time I'm on it. I just fucking like, is something going to happen or not? I don't fucking know. It just... That's the problem, is like Escobar scratch today. He ends up playing in the fucking game. It's just, I don't know what they're doing. I'd love to see Sheets. So I would like to see the guy get a fucking at bat. I'd love to see Berger too. I mean, but I don't know.
Jake Berger just hitting RBI single.
I also found
in Charlotte.
Well, right. I also found a complete fucking solution to your bullpen problem. Ronaldo Lopez has struck out 11 through 6 innings here tonight.
Where's Odrisamer Despaigne?
Odrisamer Despaigne.
And Ross Detweiler when you need them.
Ross is in Miami, isn't he? And he's doing well. He's doing well over there.
Okay, so from a bullpen standpoint, I would love a Ross Detweiler on this team right now.
We could use another lefty.
Well, yeah, but somebody that would have been able to start. First off, before we go there, Ryan Burr, absolutely fucking filthy today. I loved watching Ryan Burr pitch, and he's just a good guy. He's a great guy to root for. Ryan Burr, I love seeing him succeed. He was one of the first interviews we had here at On Tap Sportsnet. Just a guy that is just a generally easy man to root for. But his stuff was filthy. But the Ross Detweiler thing, like, I'm really serious. I feel like the bullpen misses that guy right now, because Yeah, Jose Ruiz has done okay in some mop-up roles and everything, but when you need to kill 4 to 5 innings of, consistent baseball, we got that from Ross Detweiler, and I just miss him in the bullpen. Plus, he was a Sox on Tap favorite. So, shout out to Ross the Boss, whatever you're doing down in Florida. We miss you here.
I loved Ross the Boss so much. He was so badass.
I think one other guy from a bullpen standpoint that I'm wondering to see soon, Jace Fry, who's been down in Charlotte for about the past month now. He's been throwing the ball all right down there.
Another lefty.
And I think just given the volatility of relievers from year to year, unless your name is Mariano Rivera or Trevor Hoffman or prime Dennis Eckersley, those middle inning guys, it is such a roller coaster from year to year. You look at 2019, 2020 when he was healthy, Aaron Bummer was lights out. He was an absolute hammer. And Evan Marshall for 2 years was an absolute hammer down there in the back end of that bullpen. And then here we are, 2021. Both of these guys have been struggling and extremely inconsistent. Seen tremendous inconsistency from Garrett Crochet. You name it, up and down the roster within that bullpen, there have been issues.
Can we talk about Garrett Crochet for a minute, Steve?
We can.
Because that 95-mile-an-hour fastball today just was not cutting it at all.
Yeah. If you're a guy, from the left side, and if you're just going to have a plus fastball versus plus when you were 101, 102 a year ago, that stuff doesn't play as well. And that makes, was it a number 10, number 11 pick being utilized in a guy that's a reliever doesn't look great. I'm going to be completely honest with you. You saw on Friday, you look at Zach Collins and you look at Zach Birdie, the two guys, the first round picks in the 2016 draft. Not exactly great utilization of high leverage draft capital there. Drafting a college reliever with the 26th overall pick in the first round and a guy that can't hold a spot in your bullpen here 5 years later. And Zach Collins is a backup catcher. So that's a big problem. And I think that's probably part of the reason why Nick Hostetler is no longer in charge of the amateur scouting program.
Oof, that's scorching. A little hot after that.
Did I go a little too hard there?
Are you sweating through your headband? Because I'm sweating. Wow. Those were some angry words there from you, Steve. And I want to talk more about what exactly could potentially be wrong with Garrett Crochet here at this juncture versus like going scorched earth on the White Sox scouting and player development staff. But we can do that too. For a Sunday Funday, man, this is getting a little hairy. Buzz, what are your thoughts on that? Because I'm right there with Steve right now. He just took me to another level.
He baked my meatball where it's like, I feel like it's well done. It was a very hot take that he had there. It was good.
Was it a meatball take?
I felt like it was a meatball. Yeah, I felt like it was a meatball take for sure. I wasn't tinfoil hat.
No, it was not tinfoil hat. We got to classify this one though because it was just that. It was just that hot.
It was very hot. Like I felt like he put dried jalapeno in the meatball mix.
So wait a second. Can we go compile this and talk about Carson Fulmer in this draft class too that we've got going on here?
Carson Fulmer got fucked by the system. He had the talent.
The track record's not great, Bob.
Well, no, track record sucks. I mean, look what Steve just did. He just killed multiple people. I mean, what did he just? He just killed multiple people. He turned them into meatballs. I don't know.
I'll tell you where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, shit. It was in the meatballs that we ate. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm gonna backtrack for 2 seconds here and talk about things that we can do to fix this White Sox offense, bullpen, whatever. One of the things that I really, really liked, and I know it's far-fetched, so you could probably classify this one as a meatball take too, because it's never going to happen, and you'll know why exactly in just a moment. But if I'm Rick Hahn, I'm going to Jerry Reinsdorf right now, and I'm asking, where can I go to take on a bad contract to get a good player? And that's the Colorado Rockies with Charlie Blackmon and Trevor Story. And Steve's going to shake his head, but there's your sexy move.
Have you seen Charles Nasty's numbers this year?
I have seen his numbers
You
this
know
year,
when
and they
Tony
are
throws
bad.
you know when Tony throws something out like that, he has done his research on it.
Yes.
So he's ready.
He was my first draft pick in my fantasy baseball draft, and he's currently ridden the bench for quite a while now. I know exactly how bad Charlie Blackmon is, but I feel like maybe if you're trying to go a little bit above an Eduardo Escobar and you bring somebody in, I mean, let's look at what we've got right now in the outfield and say, you know, if you're already going to eat Adam Eaton right here and have bad money right there, can you just get rid of Adam Eaton? And Charlie Blackmon is close to the same level of terrible out there in your outfield. Ride out the rest of that contract. Maybe you can get Colorado to eat a little bit of money depending on who you're sending back that way. But you can take a bad contract off the Rockies' books, get a sexy name in Trevor Story. He's also not having the greatest of years, but I think he's a step above what you would get out of Eduardo Escobar. You don't know what you're going to get from Nick Madrigal when he exactly comes back from his injuries or what have you there. But then you've got some capital to play with when you've got some middle infield depth next year. And again, nothing's for certain as to what you're even going to get out of next year too. So
well,
I'm looking for the home run here. And it's the problem is Jerry Reinsdorf.
No. It's not just that. Trevor Story is also a free agent at the end of the season.
That's true as well.
So that doesn't exactly add to middle infield capital from that standpoint there.
Yeah, well, swing for the fences.
I like dingers.
I like home runs. I want fireworks. That's all I'm going for here.
If I were to swing for the fences, it'd be Ketel Marte personally, because Arizona's so bad. That'd be my swing for the fences move. That is a guy that lines up within the rebuild. The road to contention from the rebuild, and a guy that can play multiple positions. That'd be my swing for the fences move, though I don't think that'll happen because, again, I don't think we have the capital to get him without foregoing some key piece on the major league roster. So, but yeah, I think that we've had a lot of fun. You know, what can they do? Talk. I just hope they do something.
Now, what will they do?
I have fucking no clue. I mean, that's the thing here is a fucking boob threw me off. You dick. You know, I don't know. I mean, he's supposed to be friends with all these guys. It's like, you know, I mean, he's accessible to come on a podcast and everything. And like, I'd love to talk to him, but then I don't know if I can help myself or Steve wouldn't call him boob for 3 seconds. I mean, it's fucking, you know, like, it's just like, dude, like, why do you say, like, you are becoming Hector Gomez to me? Like, you are becoming Hector Gomez to me.
Oh, man.
You know, oh my God. Tinfoil hat theory, dude. I just thought of something crazy. So
have we ever seen Boob and Hector Gomez at the same place at the same time?
No, you haven't.
Oh, also, God, here we go.
Also, I figured something out the other day, man. You remember how we had Marcelo Ozuna? Remember he was coming to the White Sox?
He was on the plane.
Dude, he still is on the fucking plane. Listen. I started watching this show, Manifest. This guy went through the fucking Bermuda Triangle, and he is stuck in time right now. He'll be here. Just give it time. He'll be here in 5.5 years. Actually, no, we were supposed to sign him in 2019.
Do we even want Ozuna right now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I still want him. Right field. That's fine. No problem. Would you want to fucking watch Adam Eaton when his I mean, dude, do you want to talk about a guy?
No, I want to watch Eloy Jimenez and Luis Robert, and I want to watch Nick Madrigal, and I want to watch Jose Abreu, and I want to watch this team win ball games.
So you wouldn't want to see Marcelo Ozuna over in right? Because everybody told me he couldn't play right field, and then he had a great year. And then this year, I know he's not been that great.
He's also having some legal issues.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of going with this.
Wait, he's having legal issues too?
Yeah, he beat the shit out of his girlfriend a couple weeks ago.
Allegedly.
Oh, well, yeah. I apologize to everybody on Sox On. I did not know that. I really don't have any patience for that. I did not know that. Why do I like people that are assholes like him and Yasiel Puig? I don't know. I'm sorry.
You've got a type.
It's a problem, really. I'm gonna go revisit my personal life. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Jesus, I didn't know that. How did I miss that? Oh,
yeah. It came out a couple weeks ago, so I think that ship has probably
that's
sailed.
fucking gone. But anyway, I want to tell you about the Manifest thing real quick.
Well, I'll go double down on this. And the last report I saw on Marcelo Ozuna was from Hector Gomez that said that Marcelo Ozuna expects that his name will be cleared and that the police will apologize to him after this incident. So
we'll see.
He's also on a plane the entire time. So
well, that's what I'm saying.
White Sox fans will also be very happy as he's standing next to Nelson Cruz.
Right. Oh, God, that's fucked up, Steve. But that's the thing. This Manifest show, dude, they get on a plane from Jamaica, okay? And I know we're talking White Sox, but we're getting a little personal here. I started watching a new show because the Sox didn't play a lot this week. They had 2 off days, so I got to binge watch show. They get on a plane from Jamaica, and the plane hits crazy turbulence and shit, right? And then everything's fine. And they land, but they call to land, and they're like, no, you can't land at JFK. You need to come to this Army base. They go to this fucking Army base, right? They land, and the guy goes, you guys have been gone for 5 years. That's what happened to Marcelo Ozuna, man. What we're seeing right now is just a mere projection. He's still on the plane. That's okay. I'm done now.
We'll dissect that more.
I feel like I'd be good talking about TV shows and how
so if we're gonna talk about things on planes, why don't we talk about steaks on planes?
Yeah, I'd like that.
Go all Samuel L.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. That's a good one.
All I'm thinking about right now is like how far we can get into the show Lost.
Oh, is that good? I haven't seen that yet.
If you started to watch Manifest, you should queue up Lost right after that one.
Will do. I will do.
TV show recommendations from Sox on Tap. If the Sox are not on,
this is the type of content people come here for.
I think it is.
Absolutely. What are you binge watching, Steve?
This is my busy time of year. I don't really have a lot of time to binge watch TV shows, admittedly. I will say this in recent weeks, I have gone back on the Peacock network, going back and reliving some of the highlights from the 25th anniversary of the NWO's rise to prominence. Tony, I know you're not a big attitude era wrestling guy, but hey, let's throw one up, baby.
Is this where the headband started to come into play?
Oh, this is our style now. I'm actually going to get. I'm actually going to order. You can custom make the junk headbands. I'm gonna fucking custom order
on there.
And Tony, you're gonna wear it. It's gonna be an NWO, but the O is the On Tap Sportsnet logo, and it's just gonna be for us Sox on Tap guys, and just fucking have like the little too sweet thing on the side of it. That's we should do that. We should do that.
So yeah, but no, like that's what I've been kind of like when the Sox have had days off. I've been kind of binge watching some of that stuff. Like, was it May 27th was the 25th anniversary when Scott Hall interrupted the match and started the whole thing, and then a couple of weeks later, Nash showing up, power and then jackknifing Eric Bischoff through the table at the Great American Bash, and July 7th is the 25th anniversary of Hogan with the heel turn at Bash at the Beach.
Bash at the Beach, 96.
The greatest moment in the history of pro wrestling, the moment that changed it all right there. We're coming up on 25 years. I can't believe how old I feel now.
That's the second best, actually.
I've admittedly not done much show watching. When the Sox are off, I generally will try and get out for a round of golf. I don't know if I know Buzz is not a big golfer. I don't. Steve, you don't strike me as a guy that gets out on the golf course very often. Neither of you are big golfers. But that's what I did this week when the Sox were off. Is I enjoyed some time by myself on the golf course to try and recollect my thoughts and think about what the White Sox should do with this upcoming trade deadline. I just can't seem to get myself away from White Sox baseball. It's a disease.
This is our cross to bear.
Yeah, it is. And Steve, we've talked about that earlier this week. This is our cross to bear. We cannot have nice things. We're White Sox fans for some odd reason. But that said, guys, I mean, this was all things aside, this was a great week for White Sox baseball because we got to share the first tailgate back in Lot B together. I think everybody there had a good time. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show. Tailgating's back, full capacity at the stadium's back. Let's talk a little bit more about that for just a minute. 100% capacity game versus limited capacity games earlier this season. What are your guys' thoughts on the full capacity guaranteed rate stadium?
Spicy hot take right here. I like the limited capacity. I like being able to spread out. I like not having to be in a long line to go hit the pisser. Cub fans and a lot of people like to talk shit about people not filling the park at 35th and Shields. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of like it that way. makes it a lot better for me. I get better seats. I get in and out of the park quickly. I get in and out of concession stands quickly. Honestly, I'll take that.
Buzz, thoughts on full capacity versus limited capacity?
It felt like, I don't know, man. I got rained on in full capacity my first game back. I guess I really didn't notice. The tailgating being back is the best thing to me. So as long as that's back, I don't care how many fucking people are there. I have my agenda and I want to live that out. So it's great. I'm glad. Hopefully everybody shows up to watch a good team. That's about it, man.
See, I'm split here. I love the tailgate scene. I love being able to have a few beers in the parking lot before entering the ballpark. I love that atmosphere, but I can totally get behind what Steve's saying with this because, man, we've went through 2016, 17, 18, 19, and then obviously we were not able to go to the park in 2020. But most of those games, Steve, like you mentioned, not full capacity in the slightest outside of opening day or a Cubs series or a Yankee series, or if the Red Sox comes out, a prominent team that draws a lot comes to town. You normally have, even on a Saturday night, probably about half the stadium full. You're able to get around, do what you need to do in the ballpark. Things feel more accessible. Spreading out and getting a better seat than what you paid for just feels like good value, I feel like, to the fan. Being able to, slip in and out of sections, say hi to people, not be sitting in somebody else's seats or worrying about that. I feel like that adds another value to your experience at the ballpark, not having to miss an entire inning because you're waiting in a line. So I do miss that in a sense. We'll see how the rest of the season goes, but I would probably think that we're going to see some large crowds, larger than what we're used to crowds at the ballpark, especially on weekend night games or weekend day games. And even some of these middle of the week games, right before full capacity. Johnny and I went to a Wednesday 1:00 game that was just absolutely jam packed. It was almost impossible to park. So just different experience, different aura. And I don't see limited capacity returning. The team is good right now. And just something that we're going to have to deal with, a different experience at the ballpark. Just my opinion on it.
No, right on. I think we'll get into our last topic for the evening, and not really topic, but it's going to be the White Sox next series, and we're going to open that up on Monday, which is tomorrow, 7:10 Central. White Sox against Twins. Kenta Maeda, against Lucas Giolito. 5-5, 3.80 ERA for Lucas. 87 and 2/3 innings pitched there.
That was a mouthful.
It was. He struck out 110. He's walked 29, let up 17 long balls. Medea's 3-2, 4.85 ERA, 52 innings pitched here, 50 strikeouts, walked 15, 11 long balls let up. Series predictions, boys.
Before we get to predictions here, I guess maybe the one positive with Jose Abreu getting hurt, I'm assuming he won't be in the lineup tomorrow, so we probably won't have to hear Lucas Giolito cry about having to pitch to Yasmani Grandal, because I'm assuming that Grandal will probably play first base tomorrow, so he'll get his little Zach Collins behind the plate.
Oof. I like that one, Steve. I like that one because you need Yasmani Grandal's bat in this lineup. Every game this series.
Now, look, I personally think, given Maeda's career splits against left-handers, having both Grandal and Collins in the lineup is going to really help optimize the lineup for the Sox, regardless of the Abreu situation. So even if Abreu didn't get hurt, I think it would make sense to at least have Grandal DH in place of Yermin Mercedes tomorrow. So the more lefties you can put in the lineup against Kenta Maeda, the better chance that this team will have.
Could tomorrow's ball game have been an optimal chance to rest Jose Abreu, regardless if he got hit by that pitch, and have Yasmani Grandal's bat in the lineup, given that Yermin Mercedes started to turn things around just a little bit today, and you want to see him drive that ball like he did early on in this game, and Jose Abreu struggles. I'm looking at this right now, and I probably would have thought a little bit about resting Jose Abreu with that lingering stuff that he's got going on tomorrow against Kenta Maeda.
I don't know. I just think that Abreu is kind of that guy that will always force his way into the lineup. It's not necessarily as bad as it was when Ricky was here because he could obviously go over Ricky's head and just be like, look, you have to put me in the lineup because otherwise I have to call my mommy and tell her why I'm not starting. And so, if you put me in that position, I'm going to make things really uncomfortable for you. Obviously, I don't know that he could do that with Tony La Russa, because Tony La Russa is a Hall of Fame baseball person. I don't know if you guys know that, but
are you saying that Tony La Russa gives no shits about Jose Abreu's mom?
I'm saying he probably doesn't, unless she's sending him some kind of booze from the or from Cuba, some kind of spiced rum, which she may very well be doing. Who knows?
Does Tony La Russa like Cuban cigars?
I'm thinking it's more so on the Cuban spiced rum, personally.
Fair enough.
That's just my opinion.
Fair enough. Buzz,
we've really derailed.
We have. Buzz, any thoughts on Jose Abreu not in the lineup tomorrow? Yasmani Grandal, everything that we've just dissected here.
If Abreu's out,
let's assume he is.
Moncada and Tim Anderson and Grandal. That's who it's on. That's it. I don't know what else to say. Who else is there that you have any sort of faith in besides?
Yeah, well, I mean, like we might as well roll it into pick to click and how far down does this go?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go. My pick to click tomorrow is going to be Yasmani Grandal. I haven't really picked him a lot this year. I'm gonna take him. Steve, we could double up. So I'm taking Yaz.
I will always take the guy that was the former catcher of an opposing starting pitcher. I will always take that action, especially, like I said, given the splits against left-handed hitters for Maeda in his career. So I really think it would behoove the White Sox and Tony La Russa to stack the lineup with as many left-handed hitters as possible to negate what Maeda does against right-handers. But I'm looking for a Yaz bat drop tomorrow.
I mean, I think he's got the last home run that the White Sox hit. I think that was Friday night. Yasmani Grandal launched one. So, I mean, he's probably as hot as anybody on this roster, if not like scorching above all of them at this point in time. So Yasmani Grandal is the double up pick, which makes me feel really bad about even wanting to take him here. So let's reach down this list real far and go with Yermin Mercedes, assuming that he is in the lineup. I liked what he did today. He just got on top of a ball that he scorched down the left field line that if he connected square with, I think would have probably left the yard. I'd like to see him continue to hit the baseball instead of getting out. So I'll go with Yermin Mercedes, guys.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't have much else, guys. I think that's it. I think we covered a lot of stuff today. We talked about our awesome experiences in Lot B, what we want the Sox to do, TV shows, a bunch of other shit. Anybody got anything else before I ride us on out here?
How are you feeling after yesterday, Buzz? I see you're back on the horse. You're a warrior. You got the pitching ninja shirt on. You're riding one out right now.
Oh, dude, I'm an animal. That's just what I do. You know, it's just what I do, man. I only need like 4 hours of sleep to recharge these batteries and do it all over again. So I'm all good, man. I'm all good. I got a couple of scrapes in my chest there, but we're from the mudslide, but we're good.
Steve?
I have one final closing thought. Sox on Tap rule number 27. Fuck the Twins.
Absolutely.
Period. Paragraph.
Absolutely.
This should be a winnable series for this team. Buzz, I believe you asked for predictions.
Yeah.
We got a 4-game set.
Yeah, I'm going sweep because I'm a homer, and I always say they're gonna
3-1. 3-1. 3-1. I'm gonna give 2-2. Steve, that's where I was too. But I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to bring it back because I feel like there was so much negativity on this show. Johnny Nani was with us in spirit. And the toaster is firmly in the bath right now. But yeah, no, I've got to ride 3-1. I've got to say that the White Sox are going to continue to find that magic somewhere, somehow, some way, and get a series victory here because it feels like it's been a little bit since we've had one of those.
Right. Yeah, it has been. Oh, anything else, boys? Are we done?
I think we're done.
All right.
I need more beer.
Everybody be sure to go on tapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at Sox On Tap, at On Tap Sportsnet. 5-star rating and review anywhere you can listen to podcasts. And check out Grandstand on socials, Grandstand Sox, or go to grandstandsox.com. We'll be back tomorrow. You know, whoever. I don't know who it's going to be. It might be me and Steve, me and Tony, Tony and Steve, Tony and me. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll be back tomorrow after the Sox beat the Twins because, like Steve said, fuck the Twins. White Sox forever.
White Sox forever.
White Sox for life.